You know, folks, when it comes to MAGA, I really believe we've reached a point now where we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. When I very first started calling out MAGA and their racism, a lot of times there would be racial undertones to the things they were saying, and you would catch it and call it out. And the more we caught it and pointed it out, the more they doubled down. And when they saw Donald Trump doubling down and they saw him just going forward and they realized all that he could get away with, then he just empowered them to be themselves. And it just started coming out front more and more and more. And now when I hear comments like Chip Roy makes in this next clip I'm going to play for you, I'm not at all stunned by it. What I'm actually more stunned about is that he just didn't go ahead and say everything he wanted to say, because what he says here is clearly a racist jab right at Vice President Kamala Harris. And luckily for us, on our side of the aisle, we have Jasmine Crockett, who will always be there to give it back to him. So take a look at this clip, and then we're going to talk more about it.
At the end of the day, I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they can. They're in a box. They are in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president, and they know that they're going to be facing a problem either way.
Now, I know that you are wont to read a loser when a loser says a thing, so I'm just going to let you comment on what you think about those words.
Again, you know what? I want people to listen to them. If you just listen to what they say, it will tell you everything that you need to know. Number one, you can obviously see that he's ignorant as all get out. And number two, you can see that he wishes he had half the competency of Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't talk to me about what a DEI hire looks like, because we know that you have never, ever engaged in diversity, equity, or inclusion when it came to your office. So we know that you don't know anything about hiring diversity. But let me tell you one of the real facts about diversity in this country. We're missing out on trillions of dollars in GDP, and they can go and check the receipts if they want to, because we have the rogue governors coming out of the state of Texas that are anti-DEI. We've got the rogue governor in Florida and so forth. And so what they need to do is get over their incompetence and just try to get on our level and decide that they're going to compete and start to come up with actual policies instead of going after people because of how they look or how they were born. Instead, they need to focus on taking care of the American people, which means that you're going to take care of people other than just white folk. It means that you take care of brown, Hispanic, Asian, and everyone.
We can always count on this particular freshman to keep it real and tell it.
Okay, so to anyone out there who might be an aspiring Democratic politician, if you're a left-leaning politician, you're thinking about dipping your toes in the water and running for office, I would say to you, go sit under Jasmine Crockett's learning tree. That is how you talk back to Republicans. That's how you give it back to them. You have to stand up to their ignorance, their stupidity, their racism, their bigotry, their homophobia. You have to hit them hard, and you have to come back, because that's what they're doing. They're heavy hitters these days. You can't sit back like on the ropes and box like the Marcus of Queensbury and be all smooth and technical about it. When they go low, you can't go high, because they don't have a bottom. So you always have to give it right back to them. And I've had people say to me, yeah, but when you do that, Brando, you're just making them mad. You're just getting them upset, and they ain't never going to listen to you. Listen, I do not care if I make a racist mad. I've had some people say, well, you know what? You're probably going to hurt their feelings. You've made them feel stupid. I don't feel no sympathy for that. I don't feel sorry for that. I don't feel one bit sorry for that. These are people who have went out of their way to make racism cool again, and we're going to keep calling it out. You know, we're not going to make America great again. We're going to make racists afraid again. We're going to make them understand that you don't come out with that the way you want to and think that you can get away with it. You can. You have free speech. You can say it if you want to, but there's always going to be people calling it out. And if you don't understand where the racism is in that comment about Vice President Kamala Harris, if you don't understand that he was insinuating the only reason she got her job is because of the color of her skin, and you don't see the racism in that, then that's not on me. That's on you. You know, we all have the same ability to educate ourselves and learn about things and listen to other people and what they're going through in this world. And I come from a holler in southeast Kentucky. You know, it could have very easily went the other way. I know I already don't look the part, but it could have very easily went the other way considering the people that I grew up around. But instead of listening to the bigotry and the bullshit, I listened to other people and what they were going through because I wanted to learn. Because I realized at the end of the day that we're all Americans, we're all in this together. What they don't realize is outside of their little bubble, there's a big world out there with a lot of different people. It's a very diverse country. And so I want to hear what other people is going through, and I want to understand their struggles in this world. And I don't ever want to be on the side with racism and bigotry. So that's why I can't, for the foreseeable future, ever see myself voting Republican. There would have to be some sort of massive party shift before I could ever go over there, because I'm not going to be over there with that. That's why that I won't say there's two sides to it, and that's why I won't call myself independent. And I understand people out there that doesn't want to be associated with a political party. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to be associated with a political party. I get it. I understand the sentiment. But the whole, I see both sides of that. We're talking about racism. You see both sides to that. You see both sides to what Chip Roy and Jasmine Crockett was talking about there. Because if you see Chip Roy's side, you're telling me racism ain't a deal breaker. And as far as Chip Roy goes, he's to the point now where they can't run against Joe Biden's record. They can't do that because Joe Biden was able to accomplish all the things Donald Trump wasn't able to do. So what are they going to do? They're going to sit and talk about how he's old, he can't remember anything, he forgets where he is, he stutters. They're going to focus on the debate as hard as they can, and then they're going to sit and cast stones at the Vice President Kamala Harris because they fear her. They fear a woman who can come out and give it back to them, and they definitely know that she can. So they're already trying to talk down to her. That's what he was doing right there, and Jasmine gave it back to him, and good for her. More people needs to start giving it back to them, folks. You know, if we're sitting here having a reasonable debate about who's going to pay for the health care or how we're going to, combat climate change, if we're going to have a reasonable debate about things, we can sit here and we can hear both sides and we can listen to everybody and everybody can bring their opinions to the table. But when we're talking about racism, you don't get to bring your opinions to the table if you're a bigot. Not around me. I'm not going to sit here and give you a pass for that and say that it's okay for you to say those things. I'm not going to, it's free speech. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not saying you don't have a First Amendment right, but I'm saying there's accountability for what you say. And when you say those things, I'm going to come back at you. And the people that I surround myself with are going to come back at you because we're not going to let this country turn into that. It's already went way too far. I know we're to the point now we'll probably never be able to get the toothpaste back in the tube, but we're going to die trying anyway because it's the right thing to do. Because there was too much work put in by good people to bring us away from all of that, to see us falling right back into it. It's a true shame that after all the work that was put in and all the progress that was made, we've got so many people standing up against that progress and kicking and screaming every step of the way and trying to drag us all down with them. Well, we got to be on the right side of history. We already are, and we will be. I know it ain't easy. I know, especially if you're like me, living in a little, being a blue dot in this giant sea of red and the buckle on the Bible Belt. I understand that you're surrounded by it. I can't drive down a street that I'm not going to bump into a Confederate flag somewhere. I can't go to a flea market that there's not going to be an entire booth of them somewhere. But I walk on past them. I don't give them my money. I'm not going to. I don't even go in certain businesses. If I look in and see the flag flying, I just turn around and walk out. So we have to continue to put in the work, and we have to continue to stand up for what's right. And people like Chip Roy taking a low blow like that at Kamala Harris, really what it shows you is that he has no ideas or solutions. Because if he had ideas or solutions, he could talk about that, and he would have never had to make that offhanded comment. He made it because at the end of the day, they've got nothing. And that's why they speak that crap every day loud as they can, because it's all they got. Where's their ideas? Where's their solutions? Other than just turn this country into a dictatorship under Donald Trump. Where is their ideas and solutions for everyone? They don't have any. It's all about making the rich richer, and it's all about empowering Donald Trump and his base to be as big a pricks as they want to be. So we got to be over here on the right side of history, always kicking against it.